everybody, welcome back to the Biotope. So the Biotope Gallery fish room build is continuing on, making little by little progress every day, and want to take this video to get you guys caught up on what's going on in the fish room. So stay tuned. Okay, let's head into the fish room. So we'll start here, go left to right. This is going to be a camera I'm going to try out here in the future. I've got to get a memory card for it, and we'll see if it helps the quality or ease of the videos. Right now I'm using my phone for all these videos, so I'm going to try that camera here in a little bit. Here's all my current supplies, fish food. I really like the Cobalt line. So this is 3 different kinds here. I also, as you might know, feed the encapsulated brine shrimp eggs. It's great for the small fish and for growing up the babies. And then just a general flake. Actually, this is I've powdered this down a little bit, so it's really easy to feed the smaller fish and the babies. So I kind of mix the food up. I think that's a good way to do it, is just give some variety. So we've got our first rack of 75s. Nothing's changed too much on that. Okay, so you notice this tank down here. So I think I told you in the last video, my daughter wanted to get some electric blue crayfish, and we put 2 up in her tank. She's got a betta tank up in her room, a little 5-gallon. And then I put some in a tank down here, and they just decimated the evalison area. So there's 3 in here. There's a larger guy there, medium size and small, and it's just a 10-gallon tank that they're hanging out in because they beat up her betta in her tank and ate all the valsinaria and ate all the valsinaria in my tank here with the knife live bears. So decided, you know what, enough is enough. We're just gonna get them their own tank and just keep them there for now. There's no heater on this. This room currently is 73 degrees, which is plenty warm for crayfish. And they're just a small hang on the back in there, and just your standard light, nothing too crazy. Just need to get them out of that tank. So we've got our sump in our first set. I think our next step here is to get our pumps, our return pumps, and get those all plumbed up, so stay tuned for that. Here's our second stack of 75s. Again, nothing too new there. And then we've got our third stack here. This is our third and final stack where our last 2 75 gallons will go. This space here between the front of this tank and this rack is 2 feet 6 inches, so 30 inches, which gives me enough room to get in there, see this tank, be able to see the sides of this tank, access everything. That's plenty of space. This is that wet dry sump that my buddy Josh gave me, so I think this is pretty close to where I'm gonna have it. I've got some high density foam underneath the sump, just because with concrete floors, that'll suck the heat right out of the system if that sump is sitting right on the concrete. So I put some high density foam on that. This sump here also has high density foam. I got another drilled 10-gallon. I'll get some foam or styrofoam, something like that for there. We'll get that in. But anyway, back to this guy. I think I'm gonna put a small sheet. See these like brackets? I'm gonna put a sheet of like pretty much the same stuff I use for the lids. So just that little paneling, I'll just cut some and stick it in there. I'll put a piece of coarse sponge, and that'll cause this to trickle through and then be pulled through up and out through that sponge, and then have my 2 return pumps here back to the tank. It is kind of tight underneath the stand, but I think it's going to be able to work out. Of course, the tank will be on top, but I'll be able to get in here and get this union undone if I ever need to take the hose out, and then take this off, clean anything, that sort of thing. I won't be able to ever take the sump out of there without removing the tanks. So, you know, that's something. We'll see. I might regret that, but I'm gonna try to make it as accessible as I can. So that'll be a fun part of build. So all these sumps, stay tuned and you'll come along the journey for that. So yeah, so that'll, my overflows will come in through here and go through the filter, and then I'll have two pumps here that will come out the back and into the tanks. This space here, there's 12 inches here, so this could be for some storage. There's just a little bit of space here, which is nice. This stand is where it's going to be. Between these two stands, it should be also 30 inches. Let's see if I can measure this with one hand. So, maybe not quite. Yeah, it's about right. There's, let's see, from there to in here, you're at 2, 4, probably 2 feet, 5 inches, 6 inches, something like that to that tank. So some decent space. This is a piece of driftwood that I encased in some kind of cement and sand. There's a pleco cave I built. Again, that's just kind of out of some cement and so forth. That'll be for, I think, our South American tank, Biotope. That heat gun I use to put on our vinyl tubing on the barb fittings. And then this 3/4 inch PVC is going to be our water line here. So that'll be our fill system. So let's go through the tanks real quick. So first off, here's my 2 angels and black skirts, and I've got 2 bristle nose. I've got a male albino and a female chocolate. There's the male albino there. Here's the pair of angels. The male's on the left, the female's on the right. Obviously this tank is like crazy with Val, just like spreading all over. I've also got frog bit on top, which is really doing great. And as you see, I kind of put that Amazon sword in a little pot. The roots are just out of the bottom. The bottom of the pot doesn't have the bottom piece, so just kind of holds that in there with just a very little bit of kind of sand and gravel in here. But anyway, this male here is just not eating well. It looks like he's losing weight a little bit. He's still active, but just not himself. So I tried some methylene blue in case it was kind of fungus. Don't think it is. So I'm gonna do a dose of ProziPro. So what it is, it's 1 teaspoon per 20 gallons. This is the 20 high. So here's like a children's Motrin syringe, and this is, as you can see, 1.875 is that top line. So over that, it'd be 2 milliliters. 1 teaspoon is 5 milliliters. So do a little more, probably 2 full of these, and I'll dose that in there, and that will help with any kind of internal parasites. So we'll get that dosed up here now. Give it a really good shake. one. Do one more like that. Okay, so that should do her. This top is on good. Okay, so we'll set that in and we'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully takes care of that and gets back to eating normal. They are a pair. I've never got any eggs to hatch. They've always been eaten by somebody, but never tried either. So these are German blue blushings, and they're just really beautiful. So that's how that tank's going. This is my other pair. This is the large male kind of veil tail German blue blushing, and these two are also a pair. I wish they weren't, because that black angel's fin, its dorsal fin's kind of messed up, and it was really just kind of a rescue on that black angel, but they paired up, and again, they've laid eggs and spawned, but I've never got anything to hatch. I've never pulled them or tried either, but it's a really beautiful, beautiful male that I would love to breed and raise up someday. So we'll see how we go when we get some of these fish out of here. I've got 11 green cories, so the Aeneas cory. I had 12 in here, but one recently died. Some big guys like this one here, there's some smaller ones. And then I've got a male chocolate bristlenose in this cave. Kind of in the back, kind of, you'll see his tail sticking out maybe a little bit there. He's pretty shy, stays in there, but he's fine. This is some Val and one Amazon sword. The Val's not doing great. This is play sand and just some pea pebbles from like Lowe's. Just kind of testing it out, see how it goes. I think the play sand is too dense for the Val to grow very well. So it's kind of melting off a little bit, just not really, it's not dying really, but it's just not growing either. And this sword's getting really beat up by the bristlenose. I also don't see a ton of new growth. It's very slow. Again, I think that sand is rough on it, so there's no root tabs or anything. I do dose it with ferts every couple of weeks, just liquid ferts, but eventually once I get our Peru tank set up, I'll get that Amazon sword out of there and get it cleaned up and get it in the other tank in Biotope. So that's how that tank's going. Let's head down here now and see our knife live bears. Remember, this used to be kind of full of Val, but that electric blue crayfish really took it out. I did put one Val in the back there, just to see if I could get some to propagate again. So there's 7 knife live bears, or Alpharo cultratus, and just so happens I have 6 males and 1 female. The female's right there, the big one, in the center of the screen. She has had some fry, as most of you know. I think I was able to catch 6 out of here about 2 weeks ago. You can see that male's doing a little dance. He'll kind of shadow the female. So he's courting her right now. You can see, we'll just watch them for a second. He'll just kind of shadow her and kind of be right on top of her. And kind of chase the other guys away. I guess he's kind of the alpha male in this tank so far. So they're pretty cool fish, our Costa Rican live bear. So I'm really excited to get this colony built out and get those into the Costa Rican biotope eventually. Again, that sword I'll also put in the Peruvian Solomos kind of upper Amazon biotope. But just some sand in here, tons of Malaysian trumpet snails. That's fine, they keep it pretty clean, and really beautiful live bear fish there. So excited about those. Got those from Greg Sage, so shout out to Greg and Select Aquatics. And this just has a small internal power filter and a little heater on it, and that's it. This tank here is our Growout. So this has a bunch of Sundabigill signifers or Pacific blue eye rainbow fish, and I think there should be 6 of the knife live bears. They're very hard to tell apart at this point because they look all pretty similar. I'm gonna try to zoom in here, I'm sorry. Just hard to focus with all the plants. You can see the fish up here towards the top. Kind of swimming around there. There's a signifer there. And this is just full of Java moss and Java fern, and there's an Amazon sword and Val, and there's some, I've got 2 big Apanagitan Madagascar Lace. Here I got at a recent auction, so I'm excited about those. I'll get those in my northeastern Australian biotope eventually. But here we'll see if we can get you some of these fish. No, it's not great. I'm really sorry. It's super hard with the plants in here. Just trying to focus on the fish. But they're getting bigger. They're growing well. And it just, if you've ever tried to raise any kind of Australian rainbow fish, they're just so slow. But doing great. Feed them the crushed flake and the decap baby brine, or decap brine trip eggs, and they do great. So yeah, really excited about those. And again, all I have here is a small sponge filter. There's not any really substrate to speak of, and a heater, and that's it. So last 2 tanks here. So this is our female rainbow cichlids, and they beat up on the Val pretty good. It's hard to keep any kind of thing planted in here. But there's 1 female and there's the other one in the back. So these are the 2 female rainbow cichlids. They get along pretty good. They will lay eggs just randomly here and there. Obviously none of them are fertilized, but got a sponge filter in there just holding a cycle. There's a marine land bio wheel hanging in the back, and a heater, and just some basic gravel and some wood and rock, and just some floating Val used to be planted. But they don't leave. Try to keep planting some here and there, but they do beat it up pretty good. So love to get a big colony of those for our Costa Rican biotope. That's the plan. So we'll stay tuned for that. This other female here that's kind of coming out, her right eye is some kind of injury, but she cannot see it. She cannot see out of that eye. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little bit cloudy. So I don't know if she hit it on something, but it happened a while back. She eats and she's perfectly healthy, but I think that right eye got injured. Last current tank we have set up are the 7 remaining adult Sundabigill signifers, the blue-eyed Pacific blue eye rainbow. I've got 4 males and 3 females. You can see that 1 female is pretty old. there. You know, these rainbow fish, the pseudomagills, this specific, I don't think they, you know, maybe they live 2-3 years, and that's pretty much, I'm getting close to 2 years on this group. But they're great. You will get babies. They don't last long in a tank like this. But if I were to pull them out, I would for sure have babies show up in a week to 2 weeks in this tank. So just holding a couple Amazon swords and some Val in here. And I've got one, I think that's a Ponageton crispus in the back left there. These two swords I'll eventually pull out when I get the upper Amazon tank going. There's a little bit of Java moss that's kind of left over that's doing pretty well. There is one ghost shrimp in here. Don't see him right now, but he hangs out and just kind of ties up any uneaten food. That one red Amazon sword, I don't know if it's I'm trying to remember what it's called. I don't know if it's an ocelot or red Reuben, but these do great. These, you can see the new growth on them. They're growing all the time. So, and again, I just have a small hang in the back and a heater on this tank. So. Okay, everybody, so that's the quick tour on the update in the fish room. Thank you so much for tuning in and coming along this journey. I'm really excited about what we've got going on. This is a long process. If you want to see how this all came together, please check back on the playlists on my channel. And we've got lots to do. We're building the fish room, then we're going to build the tanks out and create each and every biotope. So if you're into biotopes and fish rooms, or just like to see great DIY projects, please be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell to get all the updates, and share this and like this with your other friends that might be into the same thing. So again, thank you so much, and until next time, have a great time with your tanks, and we'll see you back here in the biotopes. Thanks, everybody.